Two. All right, all right. Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the Fighting Carrier. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's late. Got home late tonight, so it is 10:17 here Central Time. No doubt, my people out east are sleeping right now. You're in for another day at work tomorrow. My people out west, it's 9 o'clock Mountain and 8 o'clock in California time, so it's all good. So I want to get on here because I'm just seeing everywhere, be it Facebook, X, wherever I go. I'm seeing people panicking, worrying about the post office, worrying about their job. They seeing Elon Musk out there sending emails on a Saturday night to say, hey, y'all need to write down 5 things you did last week and whatnot, or you're going to lose your job. And people are out there pulling their hair out. But yeah, people on the one hand, they're supporting everything Elon does. To them, Elon does no wrong. This administration is doing no wrong. Everything is funky dory, and everybody's just having a good old time with it. Then on the other hand, you got other people out there just panicking, worrying about what's going on, what's taking place. And so I'm here today to continue on a subject that I've talked about before, and trying to quell those thoughts. Is it time for us to panic? Should we panic about the post office and what President Trump is proposing, what he's saying, what Elon is doing? Should we be panicking and worrying about what's going to take place? And so I'm going to try to discuss that tonight with everyone, and try to offer some encouragement if I can. Then, too, I want to discuss a little bit about the rally that took place today. What I plan to do is, if the video is still uploaded, what I plan to do is to listen to it again and break it down segment by segment, point by point, because there was a lot of talking today. And there's some things that were good, some things that I have an issue with. But we know I will get to that momentarily. Also, too, as you see from the title and in the description of this today, did this, the promotion of Renfroe and the NALC out there in D.C., does this change your view of Renfroe, NALC? Or is everything still the same? Because I contend I have an opinion about this. It's gonna be an opinion that some may not like, but it's an opinion that I feel I need to share in order to help those who are running against Renfroe. That it may not be such a good look to do this, especially if you want to try to win. But I'm going to just share my opinion. These guys, they won't listen to me anyway on the CLC or whomever else. They won't listen to me. But they really need to listen to an outside voice, I think. But they get their team together. They feel confident in what they're doing or whatnot. So, just take my advice or not. It's all good. I won't lose sleep over it one way or the other. But no, let's get started here today with this discussion that I got going on today. It was a very good topic today. Should we panic? Should we worry about privatization of the post office or the things that President Trump has brought out? He wants the Commerce Department to absorb the United States Postal Service. He wants to do an executive order or whatever to dissolve the Board of Governors, which I've said before in the past concerning the postal governors is that many of these people that's on the postal board right now, many of them come from different mailer companies, corporations. So, and what they do right now with the board is they tend to subsidize their mailing buddies. In other words, they artificially keep the prices low, so as not to have that postage due, uh, we're hemorrhaging money right now because they artificially keeps the prices low in order to benefit their buddies. And all they have to do is to increase the price of postage, parcels, and whatnot, and they can recover a lot of funds. And also, with that too, they can pay us what they owe us as carriers, what we deserve. Because they keep the prices down so low. That's been one of my biggest contentions. But this is one of my biggest arguments. And in fact, oftentimes we all complain about management issues, but then when President Trump talks about absorbing the post office through the commerce, we worry about it because it was aimed at the postal board itself, and I get it. And let me start with this caveat too. Those of you who know me, I'm neither Democrat or Republican. I am not a voter. I'm not registered to vote. I remain politically neutral, and you're going to see why later on when I discuss this, why that's important to me and why it should be important from NALC standpoint as we discuss more and more about this rally. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying about the postal board and what Mr. Trump was talking about, having us be absorbed by the Commerce Department. We complain about management all the time. We complain about the system, but then when someone says something, someone in power says something about it, then we begin to panic. We begin to say, "Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do this." I've written down a 10-point plan that I have in order to save the post office. And it's written from a letter carrier's perspective, as if I were the Postmaster General. It's a 10-point plan, and one of those points on there, I want to say is either point 1 or 2, probably point 2 on that. But anyway, one of my points on there specifically says to get rid of some of that management. We have too much management there, and if you reduce the managerial staff down, 60-70%, the post office will still function, and some of those 6-figure jobs and those benefits, we can convert those into paying the workers the salary, especially as carriers who are the face of the post office out there. We are the face. We're the delivery people. When people think about the post office, they think of us, the letter carriers. They don't think of management. They don't think of the Postmaster General. No, they think about us. And so one of my plans is to reduce management staff, as it should be reduced. The problem is I can't get my plan out to people. So that's the biggest problem with that. So if we think about what's going on with that, so as I mentioned before, President Trump talked about absorbing us through the Commerce Department. Should we panic about that? Should we worry about that? Should we worry about anything really with the executive branch talking about taking over the post office? Well, we're reminded here, the 1970 law, August 12, 1970, the Postal Reorganization Act of 1970. This transformed the U.S. Post Office into the United States Postal Service, a government-owned corporation, and granted postal workers collective bargaining rights. Notice this. This act was signed into law by President Richard Nixon on August 12, 1970, following the postal strike there that took place, that began in New York there. So you notice the post office is signed into law. Okay, that's first and foremost. It's written down in law. So if President Trump is talking about an executive order for the post office, see that executive order is void because he cannot make any sole changes because this is written down in law. You got to understand, this is how President Trump, he likes to negotiate, okay? President Trump, he will say something outlandish, something that he really wants to be done, or at least to get the ball rolling, so to speak. He talks in these mannerisms in order to get things, to get people thinking, okay? He probably knows, he and his staff, they probably know about this law, and knowing that an executive order won't cut it. So the people that we really got to worry about, people that we got to think about, will be your member of Congress. We need to watch what Congress decides to do. Okay? We got to watch what they do. So, with that said, watch what Congress does. Okay? I believe CLC, they're talking about on Wednesday, calling your representative there. Those are the people you want to call. And you want to make sure you don't just call the Democrat side. And I say Democrat side because many of the people in the union are pro-Democrat. Like I said, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. So it doesn't matter to me. But call both of them. Call both members of Congress there in your state. Do what you got to do in order to advocate for your postal job. But that's how President Trump talks. He talks like this. Like, for instance, you remember it was a few weeks ago, he said, well, we need to think about taking over Gaza, buying Gaza. And everybody just panicked. They're like, oh, we're going to buy Gaza. Why are we going to do that? But what Trump was doing was, he said these things in order to get other people involved, other people in the region involved, to help take over and keep that area from always going into conflict. Because his main goal with that is for the Palestinians and Israelis to be in peace, to get rid of Hamas, so they be in peace. No more of these wars and people dying and stuff. That's how President Trump, that's how he talks, that's how he acts. So by President Trump saying go to the Commerce Department, the reason why he's saying that is because he doesn't want to continue to see the post office hemorrhaging billions of dollars. Now, on the other hand, I do have to remind Mr. Trump and the people who support him, people in Congress who want to privatize or whatever, and all these people who are advocating for this, who want to buy the post office, need to remind people that we are a service. We are required by law. If we have a stamp on it, has an address on it, we deliver it, whether it makes money or loses money. We're supposed to try to break even every year with that, because being a service, we don't do that because we got a lot of management there. We have a number of too many hires, I would say. Too many flawed policies, such as wasting money to put trackers on the vehicles. How much is that costing? How much money are we losing with Amazon as we're delivering 50 pounds of dog food? I would say, if I were Postmaster General, I would go in there and renegotiate the Amazon deal and say, hey, we're going to charge you double or a surcharge for every dog food we have to take up a hill upstairs. That stuff is heavy, 50 pounds. Then you go see the Amazon people, they come around with a little dinky small envelope that they just carry. So there's a lot of things that I would do. But like I said, getting back to what I was saying earlier about how President Trump talks, that's how he talks. So, and because again the post office has this law signed by President Nixon, President Trump cannot do anything on an executive order. Now that's just one aspect. There's one reason why we don't have to panic as carriers or any employee of the post office, because this is a signed law, and he cannot unilaterally just do an executive order with us. Here's number two, and this is really, I think, the main reason we have no reason to panic over this is because the post office is in the Constitution. Sure, it's Article 1, Section 8, and mentions postal roads, but Article 1 gives the powers to who? To the executive? Judicial? No. Article 1, the first articles in the Constitution, those articles dictate congressional power. See, we are under Congress. We are under the legislative branch. We are not under the executive branch. See, the FBI and these other departments, they're under the executive branch. We are not. And so the executive President Trump really can't touch us by the stroke of a pen. He can't do it. And we are like one of the only institutes, one of the very few institutes in the Constitution written down. So, we are a part of America. So, nothing can really be done unless Congress passes a law. And I at this point in time, still, I don't believe Congress is ready to stomach that, to make a law, to change a law in order to try to privatize us. Now, again, I'm going to talk about this more later when we talk more about this rally and the politics that were involved. And I'm going to address this a little bit further about why I don't think members of Congress have the stomach to do that. But that's reason number two, which is really the main reason. We are not under the executive branch. We're not under Article 2 powers. We are under Article 1. And for anything to happen, Congress has to pass a law. They will have to pass this law, and President Trump will have to sign it. And I just don't think there's a stomach for that. So those are two reasons, brothers and sisters, that we don't have to worry about to panic about our jobs anytime soon. Because one, President Trump can't do an executive order because of this Postal Reorganization Act of 1970. He just can't do it. It won't work. It won't work out that way. And number two, we are under Article 1 of the Constitution. Article 1, I believe Article 1, Section 8, the postal roads. Again, that's under Congress. So I'm hoping, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to quell any fears you may have out there. I know it's scary. It can be scary, especially when it comes to your job, livelihood. I get it. I understand. I have a family of 4 here, a wife, 3 girls here. My son, he's on his own right now. I get it. I understand. So I would hate to lose my job, but I'm also working on other things too, side gigs as well, doing other business ventures I'm planning on doing too, because I don't plan on doing the post office thing to retirement, just because the physiology, the toll on my body, on my knees and foot, it's really starting to take a toll currently right now. So, but with that said, I understand it's scary, but I'm hoping that these 2 points right here, that President Nixon signed a law that President Trump cannot unilaterally just overturn and change. He can't do it. And it's hard to have laws changed around here. It's very hard. So, one, because of that, don't worry about that. Don't worry about Mr. Trump and the threats right now. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Just continue to do your thing. Come to work daily. Do your proper scans, accurate delivery. Do what you gotta do, because then they're not going to get rid of us. And then the second reason too is we're under Congress. We're under Article 1, Section 8, I believe, in the Constitution, which I'm going to verify that momentarily. just so I make sure I'm being as accurate as possible with that. So those are two reasons we don't have to panic about any of that. So now let's talk about this. What I want to talk about today. I'm going to put this image up if everyone can see this. Turn that display capture right here. Okay, so here we're gonna go. Let's blow this up for you. All right, this is what I want to talk about today. Oops, I want to see all my emails there. But here we go. Today, this is what happened today at NALC. They were there in DC, rallying. They said they stood there united to fight any attempt to dismantle practice of weaken the post office. They got the red shirts there to fight like. I really hate saying this word unless I'm using it in a religious sense on church services. So I'm going to say it one time and be done with it. But here it is, the fight like hell rally, and that's the last time I'm going to say that. Because I just don't like to cuss or use words. That word I will use talking in a religious setting, but here it's inappropriate to me. That's just the way I roll. But anyway, this is the rally I want to talk about today. And what I want to say about this is here's a question, because I saw members of the CLC on Facebook. They were promoting this rally today, and I get it. I understand. We all have one mission here, and that's to keep our jobs, to have good paying jobs. I get it. I understand that. But I wanted to say something right here too. Do you think as a CLC member, as you're trying to make changes, as you're trying to push Henry over the hump, do you think it was good? Because I saw this video on someone on CLC posted this. Do you think this was good to post that from a perspective of trying to win over people to your side, to your cause? That's what I want you to think about. Forget about how I feel about Renfroe or anything, but I want you to think about the optics of this, the logistics of this. Because I have to admit, I'm not a fan of Renfroe at all. And there are some out there that are perhaps on the fence about Renfroe, okay? On the fence about Renfroe. But if people saw this event today, they might say, hey, he's an okay guy. He's out here fighting like us, fighting for our jobs and everything else. Here he is, and what he said about he mentioned the same thing, because I mentioned this too a long time ago, the Reorganization Act, and I'm just going over it one more time in order to quell fears. But he even mentioned that. He mentioned how we're in the Constitution. I've mentioned that several times. He's reminding you of all the same talking points, and how there are 200,000 of us carriers out there, out there delivering mail. And, no private company wants to have to deliver to 2 million boxes, or they're not going to do that. Rural people will not get their mail. They won't be making money out in that area. So, but my point here with this, CLC members, this is directed to you, those of you who run this, to CLC, and this is my advice to you guys. You guys are trying to promote Mr. Henry to be the next president, but yet when you show Renfroe here like this, those who are on the fence about Renfroe, they will look at this and say, okay, yeah, he's doing his thing. This right here, it may not come to fruition, but this right here may be the turning point, guys. This might be the point that people say, okay, Renfroe, he's in power now. Might keep him in power. No sense rocking a boat now. He's already there. He's got the team, got the rallies there. You guys are showing him in this light, and I get it. You're scared. You're worried about the jobs. If it had been me on the CLC, I would have been on top of this day one. I would have been out there streaming live, sending out messages to everybody, say, hey, everyone, don't panic. We got it under control. I would have had all these points out right there. And even before NALC itself did this, if I was on CLC, I would have tried to get a rally before that as well. Or I would have tried to mobilize real quick somewhere. I would have had CLC members. Let's mount up. Let's mount up Sunday. It's a call to arms. Let's go. You guys need to come up with some kind of rallying cry. A link or a page and say, hey, this is our organization page, and we need to be able to mobilize quickly. Maybe have it set up in different regionals or different areas or whatever, and put 5-6 people per the region in the area. Called a mobilization act or mobilization team. Say, hey, we need to get this message out, be on point, have the same message, the time, and let's go out here and do this, and rally. But this right here, again, I'm not going to say too much negative about this because, you guys promoted Renfroe today by showing this, and I'm just thinking of this from a logistics standpoint. In a election standpoint, because this right here feeds into his narcissism. This feeds into his, hey, look at me, I'm here, we're trying to fight, we're going to try to save. Where's Mr. Henry at? Some ask that question. Yeah, I know he's doing a lot of this on his own money. I get it. It's tough to run against the incumbent. I understand. Especially he's got all the money on this side, and he can do these things more readily, which is why the CLC, you guys got to do, what you can with the limited resources that you have, and whatnot. Perhaps even get somebody, say these people volunteering these mobilization crews per region or whatever, to where they can rally quick. That's all I'm going to say about this from the perspective of Mr. Renfroe. Like I said, you all know how I feel about Renfroe when it comes to the contract and everything else. But this right here, I just want to say, you guys are painting him in a positive light. This might be the turning point for Renfroe. This could be. With regard to that. That's about the only positive thing I'm going to say about this. But now I'm about to reverse it. I'm about to flip this on the script about Renfroe on this. I mentioned on Facebook today that I was going to talk about this rally today. I was asking the question about why are we putting Renfroe up here? The same person who sat back and said, when people are watching us on the scanner, stationary events, it's just an inconvenience. Or when the post office was and probably still continues to falsify heat training, where was Renfroe for that? Where was the fight here for the historic contract here and there, where he gave us a historic 1.3% increase? So, I had that person say to me, this is not about how we feel about Renfroe on the contract or anything, but this is about saving our jobs. And so I mentioned to this person, I was like, you just contradicted yourself, because where was Renfroe at when it came to this contract again, to the 1.3%, to this historic? Where was he again, as I mentioned before, to stationary events? where management was saying, or he was saying, oh, it's just an inconvenience. Where was this fight of our brother who died there in Texas from the heat? Where was he fighting for our jobs then? See, you can't sit here and try to support Renfroe in this instance, where he is saying, we're fighting to protect our jobs not because President Trump said something. Where was this fight beforehand? See, was he fighting for our jobs this entire time, or is it now that he's fighting for our jobs in order for him to retain his power? I'm gonna get off the screen. I'm gonna get back to the studio. Turn this off here, and I'll come back to that picture in a minute. But where was he? Where was the fight for us before Mr. Trump? See, was he fighting for our jobs then? No. Mr. Renfroe has been pro-management ever since he's been there. All right. Fighting for our jobs. How's he fighting for our jobs when he's agreeing to reduce our office time, take away fixed office times? This dude is pro-management. He hasn't been fighting for our jobs. And so for anyone to sit back and say, anyone who's on the CLC, who supports the CLC, who would say that to me, that he's just there fighting for our jobs. Where is that fight last year? Where's that fight the year before for the carriers? As management continues to abuse carriers, as they push our office time here, they push stationary events. It can be 30 below zero. You want to stay in your vehicle to warm up a little bit, but if you sit there too long, you're in the office, or they ask you, hey, you sat here too long. What happened? It's cold yesterday. I'm trying to warm up. Or vice versa. It's hot outside. You need to take some water, sit back and cool, so you don't have heat exhaustion. Hey, you sat there too long. Where was Renfroe and NALC fighting for our jobs then? So that's all I want to say to that person who commented about that, how he's fighting for our jobs. And I just say, where was this fight before? This fight was not here for the carriers. It was all by himself. And now we're promoting him, or you guys are promoting him, CLC and others who are out there. Showed the video and whatnot. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't show the video if I was there. I mean, I would go, but like I said, I got my own issues with Renfroe and NALC. I can't look past all the neglect, all the abuse, all the pro management, and I can't sit here and say, hey, they're trying to protect their jobs when they weren't, when they haven't been. Renfroe is out here. He's out here now doing this because he knows his job is on the line. He knows that many of the carriers are disgruntled. So he's trying to do this. And like I said, this rally right here that's being promoted, that's being shown, this might be the catalyst that puts him over the hump to where he may beat Henry. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm just throwing it out there. CLC. It's just the optics of this. I'm thinking strategically right now. I'm not thinking emotionally. I'm not talking about emotionally, but just because I'm not worried about our jobs. I'm not worried about it because I know we have these laws right here, and the people we have to worry about are people in Congress because they are our boss. Not Elon, not Trump. They are not our boss. Regardless of what people say, Congress is our boss. Okay, so that's why I'm not on that same page you guys are on. Being emotional about the job because I know I'm just not there. I'm focused on what I can focus on, and that is our leadership, our union, because it's pathetic right now. And I'm thinking about the CLC, the optics of this. So we're not promoting Renfroe. shining him in a good light. I mean, this right here again. This right here is. I mean, that's just shining him in such a positive light. It's not even funny. So I'm just really just trying to help the CLC out. That's all, and trying to get carriers to think, don't be fooled by this picture. Because this is the same dude who has not fought for our jobs this entire time. To Renfroe, we're only worth 1.3%. That's it, pennies. So I don't care what he says about how much mail we deliver, how much volume we deliver. He doesn't care about that at all. All we are is 1.3%. We're just 1.3% to them. So, all right. Now I want to look at this too. We take a look at this picture, and I heard spokesman after spokesman mention this. A couple of them said this. He said, "Oh, I see all these red shirts out there, but I don't see any red hats." Okay, I'm going to touch on this political thing real quick, and I want to talk about how foolish it is to really talk about politics, to bring politics into this. Slanted politics, put it that way. I'm talking about why I think that's a folly. Okay, that comment saying you see a bunch of red shirts out there, but thank God you don't see the red hats or whatever the comment was. One of the speakers I mentioned. Here's a question for you: why would you alienate half the country, or half your carriers, or a percentage of the carriers? Why would you alienate them? Why would you do that? Michael Jordan said it best. He said why he doesn't get involved in politics is because both sides wear shoes, both sides buy sneakers. So why would you alienate anyone? This has been. I'll turn this off now. I think I'm done with this. This has been my biggest issue with the NALC, and that's the politics. And the reason I say this is because Renfroe mentioned it, a lot of people mentioned it there. They will say we deliver for America, right? We deliver for America. Well, that means we deliver to Republicans and Democrats. We deliver to independents, and we deliver to libertarians. We deliver to everyone out there. And so, as a union, I've said it before. I'm going to continue to say this, and I want CLC to take up this mantle too, but they probably won't. But the NALC should be politically neutral, just like I am. I'm neutral politically. Again, I'm not a voter. I'm a Democrat or Republican. I'm neither. I'm just one who can sit back and look at both sides and say both sides are trash. All sides are trash politically. But especially the NALC, we should be non-political. Okay, we deliver for the American people. It does not matter. The optics of that is bad because they know we still do balance. So if people in the community think the NALC is pro-Democrat, GOP people will not trust us at all. So we need to take the politics out of it. Okay, we don't want to alienate the American people. We want the people on our side. We want as many people on our side as possible. So why alienate half of the country doing that? And also, too, when you talk about the GOP are the enemy and the Dems are good or whatever, let me ask you about this. When the Dems were in power, where was the rallying cry for pay comparability for us carriers and everyone else? Where were they at? I don't recall seeing any Democrat out there saying, "Hey, these carriers need to get paid according to pay comparability. They need to be paid as much as GPS." Where's the call at? Where's that cry at? You know, what did they do? Someone tell me, the Democrats, and especially when they had the White House, the Senate, and the House, where were they at? You know, when they have all three pillars of power, they ain't doing nothing for us. So, you know, they're too busy, like all politicians, both sides, they're too busy getting rich off of sending money overseas, but they're the middleman. All these millionaires that we find in the federal government, and certainly ain't us. You know, as that article mentioned, our wages are the lowest relative to inflation. I mean, we just don't get paid as we should. But the point is, why alienate half the country, half the people in the post office by getting involved in politics? Why do that? Furthermore, why alienate the people who have power right now, those who make up a slim majority in both the House and Senate? See, instead of talking bad about the GOP, what you want to do is you want to try to find some of those GOP allies, bring them over to your side, talk to them, have one-on-one dialogue. There's at least one senator right now who would be a good ally to NALC and to the letter carriers, if you guys weren't so petty with it. Okay, there's one person, Josh Hawley. You remember he was talking to DeJoy, and he was talking about that's a couple of senators or two, but he's talking about how he's got people in rural. What is he from? Idaho. I forget where he's from, but anyway. He's talking about his rural constituents there, how they rely upon the post office and stuff. He could be a good ally for the NALC and the post office, but how can he be an ally when you alienate that part of the aisle? See, you need to find people on both sides that you can embrace. You bring them in. NALC should be politically neutral anyway, because again, we deliver to everyone, regardless of their political affiliation. That is our job, to deliver to everyone. And I hope Mr. Henry, CLC, NALC, I hope that if the Lions win, not the Detroit Lions, no, because I'm a 49ers guy. Nah, a little joke there. But I'm hoping that if CLC takes over, okay, they immediately get out of politics. They don't endorse anyone, any side. They do none of that. I hope that they just remain neutral, because that's what they should do. Remain neutral. So, yeah, it's pretty much. I'm pretty much reaching the end here. I've been talking for a good 43 minutes, almost 45 minutes, but these are some of the things I wanted to get off my chest today. Let me just check briefly my notes here. Wrote a few things down, make sure I got it. Rally today, was a format on speech for today. I'm just why the panic. Yeah, no, looks like I've covered all my talking points tonight. Again, I think just to rehash, I do think that CLC putting this video out there and on their page to our members of it, that puts Renfroe in a good light, and that might be the turning point. Those who may have been on the fence with Renfroe, they might see that video and like, okay, yeah, he's out there trying to fight for our jobs. Cool, all right, boom. This might be a turning point for that. And then again, the rally there, the politics there. I mean, please, you want people on your side. Don't alienate half the country, and don't alienate those who have a slight majority, and that's the GOP right now in Congress. I think I saw CLC, they're talking about on Wednesday again, call a representative on your lunch break. Don't just call the Democrat side, call both sides, call everyone. You don't you want to get allies on both sides. Okay, you want your allies. If you alienate someone, you want plus ones. That's what Dan Martino always says. You want plus ones. Okay, you're not going to agree with everybody on everything, but I mean, when you're going to battle, you want as many people on your side, right? So why would you alienate anyone? So so that's the recap right there. It's been 45 minutes now. I hope this has been informative this evening, and I'm begging you to please like, share, follow the Fighting Carrier. Send this video to the COC members, and just let them know. Just the optics of this was not good to me personally. It puts Renfroe in a good light, and really I don't really like Renfroe, and I want to see him lose. I'm going to vote for the other guy anyway, regardless, because I knew Renfroe. He was a Rolando flunky. I knew that from the get-go, but others might see this rally and say, okay, he's doing something for us. So again, it wasn't a good look in my opinion. And then no need to panic. As I said, we're signed under law by Nixon. It would take Congress to make any significant changes. I do, and also too, we're Article 1 in the Constitution under congressional oversight under Congress. They're our boss. Elon's not the boss. Trump is not our boss, official boss. So he's the president, but he has nothing to do with the post office itself. So the people we got to worry about are people of Congress. Watch what they do. Be very careful what they do. Watch their bills carefully. They might try to slip something into a budget bill or something to put us under the Commerce Department. And then if they did that, then we'll be under the purview of the executive branch, which we don't want ever to happen. So no need to panic right now. Just kind of watch everything. Watch the politicians especially. And just go from there. So I know it's late. It's midnight in some areas. We got to get up, get ready for this mail again. But at least here in my area, it's gonna be the 60s most of this week. Then back to the 30s next week. But we'll take the 60s for now. But y'all have a good night. Again, like, share, follow me on Facebook, the Fighting Carrier. And share this with as many people as possible. Give me your comments, thoughts, ways I can improve, and whatnot. So I want to grow this channel out. I want to create a postal news network with training, training days, training recordings, being on stewards on how to strong stewards, fighting stewards. On how to do grievances and all these things I want to bring up here, and just different postal news, because there's a lot of things that don't get reported on that we need to be aware of. So y'all take care. I will catch y'all on the next one. Yeah, I'm going to be signing out right now. So y'all have a good night, and we will catch you later.